Hi friends, this is Lori from More Art from the Heart. Today I'm going to bring you a tutorial on how I put together flower sprays to decorate with. I'm going to be decorating a vintage bird cage. Here I'm taking some wooden roses that I had purchased, and they're a little too bright for what I want to do with the shabby chic vintage look. So I'm taking a white acrylic craft paint and painting them. It'll tone down the color. I can still see some of the color through it, but it's not quite as bright. I'll have a little bit of tone of pink. I'm using some glimmer mist pearls to give it a little bit of a shine on there. The stems were green. I ended up actually taking my white floral tape and wrapping them. Here I'm taking some leaves. These are the skeleton leaves from Wild Orchid Crafts, and they don't have a stem on them, and I need a stem to be able to wire and wrap them, so I'm just taking away some of the material on either side to create a stem. I'm taking a lightweight wire that I'm going to fold in half and twist just for some stability. They're easy, it's light enough to move around though. I'm right-handed, so I put the tape on with my right hand where you pull with your left and twist and run it between your fingers with your right. And if you always take tape to put your pieces in there, they'll stay on better, they'll stick in there better. So I'm going to start another little piece of tape, then place my leaf in there. And then again, I'm going to twist and roll, pulling with my left hand to stretch the tape and activate it. And it becomes a little sticky, but it'll make it stick down. Then I'm taking another little wire that I'm going to wrap the next leaf on. And so I'm again doing the same thing. I'm going to cover the entire wire first, and start again with a small piece, getting it started, placing the leaf on it, and rolling and pulling the tape with my left hand, and then just twist it and break it off at the end. If you pull tight enough, it'll close it off. Taking another piece of tape, of course, like I said, floral tape to floral tape sticks really good. So you want to be able to always have each wire that you make already covered in floral tape before you add another element to it. So there I've got a couple leaves that I'm going to use in this arrangement. I've taken some strips of music paper and glimmer mist them, and then rolled them on a skewer to get a curly Q, and then twisted the very end so I have kind of a stem again. I am started with a floral wire that already has floral tape on it, and started a little bit of tape, rolling between my fingers and pulling with my left hand, and then just pull it tight off the end. It's just sticky enough, it'll stick down. You can see I've made some other floral picks there. I've made some with pearls, some more of the curlicues to add in the arrangement. I take a skewer to make a curlicue out of the wire at the bottom of the roses. This will give it a nice finished look at the bottom of each rose. I'll make sure that anything I add to them, I won't go below where I begin to start the curlicue. Here I have a pick that has floral tape on it, so I can do floral tape to floral tape again and give it a sticky. It's an Ashland pick. It has little beads, crystals. It's just a fun little accent to add in. So here again I'm wrapping. I'm only going to go down as far as my curlicue and bend out my wires and snip them off, and then you just press it down. And I'm taking and seeing where I would like to place the roses. Staggering them is always a good idea. It makes them look a little more natural than if they were all at the same height. I've also put a little bit of crystals in here, a little spray of crystals. rolled it in there, and adhered it with the floral tape. Here I'm deciding, do I want this in here? Do I need to add any more at this point? Um, just adjusting. I've decided I do like the arrangement of the flowers, so I'm going to go ahead and run the floral tape around those. My bow is actually going to go between the curlicues at the bottom and the roses, so that's why I've left that amount of space in there. I started to put the bow on at this point and then realized that I still needed to add a couple more things to it. Check where the placement of the leaves are. That looked like a leaf at the back is always a good idea, so I've got a leaf in there and just enough tape to kind of hold it in there. I don't want to start getting too bulky in there, so just enough tape to hold it in. Just checking to see if I should put the leaf in the front or the back. And at this point I've decided that I'm going to wait and put it in after I put the curlicues of music notes in. And they're just kind of a fun little accent to add to the arrangement. Just give it a little personality. Here's where I'm placing those into the arrangement. They have, of course now they have the wire in the bottom of them, so I can go ahead and place them in there and move them around. Here I've put the strands of pearls in. I made them on a pick as well, a wire, so that I could go ahead and get them in there. I don't want to get them in the way and roll them up in my tape, so I end up having to flip them around there. I want them draping down in my ribbon, so that's why they're that long. Again, I'm pulling up all the extra wire, getting it out of the way, snipping it off, and there's enough tape that is sticky enough to just kind of press it in there. It's going to be covered by my ribbon anyway, so you won't see that. I've used a flat lace, a 6-inch piece of tulle, and a 2-inch piece of sheer ribbon. I like layers of ribbon in there. I think it adds a lot of depth and softness to an arrangement. So I'm just tying simple bows in there, one on top of the other. Here I'm putting the flat lace bow in there. Just making a regular simple bow. I end up trimming a little bit off the bottom. They're kind of long. Here I'm just arranging around the pieces, kind of give it the look that I want to get out of it. I've placed the tulle, I made it into a large bow, and I put it at the back of the arrangement. I eventually decided it actually needs 2 back there, so in the final process I have 2. Here's a picture of it so far before I've added anything inside the cage. Just give you an idea how it looks. I've made the arrangement all in one piece and then just wired it to the cage. This way I'm able to change it out later if I decide I want to do something different with the cage, or I want to change out the colors of the roses or something. The whole thing is one piece and I can just take it off. Here I've decided that I'm going to take a sphagnum moss, oh no, actually it's a Spanish moss, sorry, type material and make a nest. And I've taken the acrylic white paint and water in a spray bottle and made kind of a whitewash because I want to get it a grayish white tone. Now this will absorb into the material. It does take a while to dry. I keep trying to with my fingers to shape it, but it's wet at this point. It's not really shaping very well, but I keep trying and I'm getting paint all over me, but eventually I leave it alone long enough to let it dry. I put several coats on, so it ends up actually being a little wider than shown there. I'm making a floral bow out of the tulle. You wrap it back and forth, pinching it between your fingers. Use your right hand to pinch it, push it in there. You make an uneven number of them. I'm taking a wire that has been covered in floral tape and running it through and twisting it. This will hold all the bow together. I'm just cutting off the extra here. Then I'll go ahead and spread out each of the bows, the loops. Like I said, this is about a 6-inch tool that I have. It's kind of an ivory white. It's hard to see here. But what I've decided to do is I want to place my nest in on that. I think that'll look soft and elegant in the bottom of the cage. So here I've taken my nest, it's dry, and I've made a couple little picks using some more out of the Ashland pick that had the little beads and stuff on it. Here's a little ceramic bird that I purchased and decided that would look really nice down in the cage. I've actually hot glued it to the little metal stand that's in there. It's actually could be used for a real bird, I think. And then I found some cute little eggs, little speckled eggs to place down in the nest. And here's a view looking into the cage. And of course the outside of the cage. I had a lot of fun making this. I would love to hear your comments. Thanks for watching my video. Also visit me at MooreArtFromTheHeart blogspot.com and my Artfire store, MooreArtFromTheHeart artfire.com. Thank you.